Hello, nice to have you join us on the news at 5 on Channels Television. I'm Dominic Iwiwa, and these are the stories and reports we're tracking at the moment. The Federal Operations Unit, Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service, has seized over 8 trailer loads of foreign parboiled rice across the southwest corridor. The seizure, among other illicit items with duty-paid value of over 1 billion naira, were intercepted within the zone in the last 6 weeks. The controller of the unit, Mohammed Shuaibu, speaking during a briefing in Lagos, explains the operatives of the unit are more determined to curb illegal activities across their coverage area.
This is the result of a 6-week intelligence-driven operation by Federal Operations Unit officers in the southwest, signaling the Ember month season. The controller of the unit, Mohammed Shuaibu, explains that over 5,000 bags of 50 kilograms of foreign parboiled rice, 640 parcels of cannabis sativa, weighing approximately 431.8 kilograms, hundreds of jerrycans of premium motor spirit, among other items, have been seized.
Federal Operations Unit Zone A continues to enforce import and export compliance by addressing undervaluation and issuing demand notices. Between 1st of September and 7th of October, a total of 39,269,688.71 kobo was also recovered. While maintaining rigorous enforcement to root our economic saboteurs, we remain equally committed to facilitating legitimate trade and ensuring that lawful business operates without unnecessary hindrances.
He warns that the unit had intensified its anti-smuggling operations aimed at curbing illicit goods trafficking, safeguarding revenue, and protecting consumers from hazardous and counterfeit products, and will go all out for it.
The 2026 federal government physical policy that bans the importation of foreign parboiled rice through land borders is still enforced. Therefore, let me warn some selfish and unpatriotic individuals who continue to defy this restriction that our men will continue to inflict heavy losses and then their ill-fated mission. These seizures reaffirm our operational capacity and underscore our resolve to continuously confront economic saboteurs, protecting national security and undermine federal government physical policies.
Controller Shuaibu then hands over seized illicit items and medicaments to the representatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency as well as the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, while the suspects will have their day in court.
The Taraba state government has pledged to collaborate with the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons to combat the growing threat of illicit arms circulation in the state. According to the state government, the collaboration is expedient in view of the urgency in securing the state due to its proximity to Cameroon, which is recording rising cross-border crimes and arms proliferation.
This visit by a delegation from the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons to Taraba State Government is to seek partnership to combat the proliferation of illicit arms in the state. The Northeast Zonal Director of the Center, retired Major General Abubakar Adamu, maintains that the governor has invested a lot in securing the state, but the dangers associated with bearing small and light weapons is increasingly becoming a threat in the state.
As we are aware today, Nigeria is facing a lot of challenges, and it has to do with the proliferation of small and light weapons. And we have had a lot of challenges even in prosecuting personnel because the laws are archaic, and we want to see that we collaborate with our stakeholders, particularly here now we're going to meet with all the arms-bearing units, the Department of State Service, Police, Army, and all the security agencies.
Taraba shares border with Cameroon and 6 other states in the country. The state government believes their geographical location has contributed to the rise in cases of arms proliferation in the state. The state government hopes to collaborate with the center to curb the trend.
Presently in Cameroon, these Amazonians A lot of them are moving to Nigeria with smaller arms and selling them to our indigenes. When we don't have people like this who are well experienced that can track and retrieve them from them, eventually what may come up in our state may be more than what we expect.
Established in 2021, the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons says it is not only seeking partnership, but also public education on the dangers of illegal weapons to curtail arms trafficking through strategic policies and interagency cooperation.
The federal government, through the Office of the National Security Advisor, has called for the need to break the cycle of violence by creating viable alternatives resolution framework for individuals and communities caught up in conflict and criminality. Speaking at a two-day stakeholders engagement in Enugu on the development of a national disarmament, demobilization and reintegration framework, the National Security Advisor, represented by the Director, Prevention and Counter-Violent Extremism, Ambassador Mairo Abbas, a viable people-centered framework will foster lasting peace in the region. She also believes that disarmament, demobilization and reintegration framework will end the cycle of attacks and retaliation in the region and Nigeria in general.
This is a regional consultation on the development of a national disarmament, demobilization and reintegration framework to address the issues of insecurity in the southeast region of Nigeria. The event, put together by the Office of the National Security Advisor, is holding in Enugu State and brings together various stakeholders, including security agencies, civil society organizations, traditional rulers, government officials, and journalists from the 5 southeastern states. Representing the National Security Advisor, the Director Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism, Mrs. Mairo Abbas, sets the tone for the event with a call for a break in the cycle of violence.
The essence of this consultation today is clear. We must break the cycles of violence by creating viable and credible alternatives for individuals and communities caught in the conflict and criminality. DDR is internationally recognized as a comprehensive approach for breaking the cycle of violence by offering structured and sustainable exit pathways for individuals involved in the armed or criminal groups who may have been co-opted due to reasons beyond their control.
As part of solutions, the military reiterates its commitment to partnering with civil society organizations to achieve the set objectives and lasting peace across the region.
We stand ready to collaborate with civil authorities, traditional institutions, and development partners to ensure that those who choose the path of peace are met not with suspicion, but with structured support, dignity, and opportunity. Let this consultation mark a turning point, a moment when we move from fragmented responses to unified action, from reactive measures to proactive peace building, and from cycles of violence to cycles of hope.
Other participants make their inputs, also offering solutions to the security issues in the country.
The solution cannot come through a one-size-fits-all approach. The solution is not just a key that when you click, then it solves all the problems. The solutions are such that you need to peel the problem one layer after the other and then get to the core of the problem.
When Nnamdi Kanu is released, and those who use his name as an excuse for criminality, an excuse for kidnapping, an excuse for maiming and killing our people, will no longer have an excuse.
This is amongst many efforts by government at both federal and state levels to curb the insecurities in the southeast. Participants are hopeful that the framework, when developed, will be adopted and implemented to serve its purpose.
Rights advocate and lawyer Femi Falana has called for radical judicial reform to make justice accessible to ordinary Nigerians, lamenting that political cases are often fast-tracked, while ordinary civil and criminal matters languish in courts for decades without resolution. Speaking to journalists shortly after visiting the Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Oti in Nvosi, Ishalangwa South local government area, Mr. Falana admonished governments to invest in traditional systems of dispute resolution, which many Nigerians still rely on daily.
I will call on the governments of Nigeria to pay more attention to the traditional judicial system. It's not enough to satisfy the elite. We must satisfy the people and ensure that the judicial system understood by them is supported by the government. I've seen signs of governance which was not there before. I've seen evidence of physical development. I've also spoken to people. It's not enough to go around and see physical development without finding out from the people how they are faring. And I've had very positive comments from the people. And so part of my discussion with His Excellency is how to intensify these efforts and ensure that the people remain the center of the administration.
The United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, estimates that Nigeria has lost approximately $10 billion over the past decade due to the ongoing conflict in the northeast. The UNICEF Child Protection Manager, Mr. Shah Mohammed Khan, made this known when he presented the UNICEF country representative, Ms. Wafa Said, at the launch of an economic reintegration program for 1,033 armed conflict survivors in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. He says the initiative is to equip adolescent girls and boys with tools to be self-reliant.
In the quest to rebuilding and fostering a sense of purpose, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in collaboration with the Borno state government, is launching an economic reintegration program for teenagers affected by armed conflict. According to UNICEF, the years of conflict in northeastern Nigeria have been marked by grave violations against children. In addition, the loss of livelihood opportunities and impact on human capital had far-reaching economic consequences on families.
These girls and boys have faced many challenges, yet their potential and resilience remain unbroken. From training to entrepreneurship, these trainings will equip them with other skills also. Distinguished guests, it is most heartwarming that this initiative is not just about skills. It's about purpose, healing, rebuilding, and fostering a sense of purpose in adolescents who have had almost lost everything.
We are working on this programming with UNICEF, UNODC, and UNDP as a consortium to support Borno State in addressing the issue of insurgency.
567 boys and 466 girls are participating in the vocational training in centers located in Maiduguri, Bama, Biu, Damboa, and Konduga. The program aims to equip conflict-affected children with vocational and life skills, helping them rebuild their lives and regain dignity.
This program is very essential. We appeal to all partners to come and help. Through the Borno model, we have 67,000 of these. 67,000. Our focus as government has been on the 56,000 who were orphaned by Boko Haram and 49,000 who were widowed. Our experiences did not extend to this until when our Borno model became an absolute success. Then from there, we appeal to partners. Please come, please help. Please come, please help.
The benefiting adolescent boys and girls will be trained on solar power installation, shoemaking, tailoring, amongst others. Each of the trainees will get a starter pack at the end of the training.
You're watching the news at 5 live on Channels Television. Still ahead, Dangote refinery denies importing bad fuel. That's in the world of business. That and more when we get back. Welcome back. Residents of Odume Obosi Urban in Idemili North Local Government Area of Anambra Central Senatorial Zone have organized an endorsement rally for Governor Chukwuma Soludo, affirming that his administration has made significant improvements in the areas of security, infrastructure, health, education, agriculture, and technology. The massive rally draws over 5,000 people, and Governor Chukwuma Soludo, while appreciating the solidarity, gives assurances of doing more for the growth of an excellent state as Anambra and urges the people to shun academic mediocres who want to gamble with the governorship position.
The solidarity for Governor Chukwuma Soludo's re-election is receiving a boost by the day, as different communities are showing their support for him. This time is the turn of residents of Odume Obosi urban area in Idemili, North Local Government Area of Anambra State, to endorse him by recounting the good works he has done to make the state a better place. They didn't just troop out. They came with a promise to deliver 60,000 votes come November the 8th.
You told us when we are coming in that you will make us divide by one, and you have seen it. You are hoping towards it, and you are hoping to see it visible, and you have seen it. So whatever we have, no matter how little, how big, Father, we pray that you ever remain. Your 4 years is 4 by 4, that equals is 4 to 8.
These 14 urban communities, one of them is Debrahim Oketa, which is Odume. And Odume were 67 streets. And I want to say to you that Obosi has never been as united as it has been today.
Governor Soludo couldn't resist the urge to dance as he makes his way to the podium. He then addresses the people as he assures them of delivering more impactful governance.
Today, even much of the communities in Ihiala have been liberated. Mbosi is liberated, Osumogu is liberated, Lilu is liberated, and so on and so forth. In Seke, people are now getting back to their communities. We must retrieve all parts of Igbo land, all parts of Anambra, where no room for any of these criminals.
He also reminds residents of the area to pitch their tent with people who have the requisite qualification and experience to lead Anambra State.
Every job, even if you want to recruit a secretary, even if you want to recruit a driver, even if you want to recruit anybody, a manager, anywhere, you must ask for qualifications and experience. Isn't it? And when there is a minimum level of qualifications and experience you must have to hold any office that you apply for. The position of governor of a state, let alone an A state like Anambra, is not one that ends just about anybody. Just about anybody. You must in some ways also be a role model to be governor of a state like Anambra. No. You must be able to go to the schools and ask our youth to work hard. You must go to schools and encourage our children that hard work pays. But to get, you get 5, and you go and get F9, 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 F9. What? How? What are you going to be telling our youths?
Before leaving the area, Governor Soludo promises residents of Odume that zoning has come to stay in Anambra politics, adding that it will be the turn of the Central Senatorial District to produce his successor.
On business news, Africa's largest crude refiner, Dangote Petroleum Refinery, has dismissed media reports alleging that it is importing finished petrol with high sulfur content into Nigeria, describing the claims as false and misleading. In a statement issued today, the company explained that as a world-scale complex refinery, it processes a wide range of crude oils and intermediate feedstocks, which is a standard global practice aimed at optimizing production and product quality. The crude refinery giant explained that all imported feedstocks are accompanied by quality certificates, which are transparently shared with regulators. The company reaffirmed its commitment to advancing Nigeria's energy independence, maintaining global best practices, and delivering cleaner, high-quality fuels for both domestic and international markets. The belief that integrated agribusiness initiative can transform rural production through a self-sustaining model that combines farming, meat and dairy processing, manufacturing and electrification. Speaking on our show this morning, Dr. Emmanuel Wikelif, founder and CEO of HTF Innovation Products Manufacturing Limited, says the initiative, if properly implemented, would help reduce production costs, create jobs and accelerate rural industrialization.
We go to them. You have this to sell, or the colors. We go pick it up from there, put it in on the area where we have secured in the rural area to take care of that. Now, we're also going to be doing meat processing and dairy processing. We're also going to be having manufacturing. We're going to be having electrification. We're going to be having processing, feed processing, fence making process, manufacturing. We have stages along the line. As soon as this ground is secured, as soon as we start planting, start building our manufacturing plants, all this process is going to be in tandem. That will take everything we make. If we don't use it on our place, location, it's going to be sold out within the country, outside the states, and outside the country.
Outside our shores in business, U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to slap a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products imported into the United States due to export controls that China wants to impose on rare earths. In a social media post today, Donald Trump also threatened to cancel his upcoming meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping because of the disputes, as he lashed out at Beijing's trade policy. The U.S. president accused the Chinese government of becoming very hostile and cited its recent decision to impose export controls on critical minerals. He also mentioned that the U.S. had been contacted by other countries who are extremely angry at this great trade hostility, which came out of nowhere. Stocks on Wall Street tumbled in reaction to Donald Trump's warning, while the country's treasury yields fell. Meanwhile, initial jobless claims in the U.S. climbed to 235,000 for the week ending October 4th, up from 224,000 the prior week, based on estimates by economists at Goldman Sachs and other firms, amid the ongoing government shutdown. The uptick is partly attributed to early layoffs among government contractors affected by federal funding disruptions, though the broader labor market remains under pressure from weak hiring trends and macroeconomic uncertainties. With official economic data releases delayed due to the shutdown, analysts will be closely watching how continued claims and employment data evolve once government operations resume. Now, the world has advised the Kenyan government to review its tax policies to strengthen economic recovery and address growing fiscal pressures. In its latest report, the bank emphasized the need to enhance revenue collection by widening the tax base and improving efficiency rather than imposing additional burdens on citizens. It also urged the government to prioritize fiscal discipline, reduce pending bills, and channel funds towards productive sectors that can stimulate growth and create jobs. The recommendation comes as Kenya faces rising debt levels and a widening budget deficit amid efforts to stabilize its economy. And that's where we drop the anchor on this edition of News at 5. I'm Dominic Iwiwo. Up next is The World Today.